Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a technology that's completely flipping the script on artificial intelligence. We're talking about moving AI from the far-off, distant cloud right into the devices in our hands and all around us. Get ready for Edge AI.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that's, well, it's kind of mind-boggling. By 2025, forecasters are saying we'll have 80 billion, that's billion with a B, IoT devices online. And we're talking about everything. Sensors, cameras, smart speakers, you name it.
And all those devices, they're creating an absolute tsunami of data. The estimates point to nearly 850 zettabytes of data per year. I mean, just to put that into perspective, 1 zettabyte is a trillion gigabytes. It's an almost unimaginable amount of information, and most of it is being born far, far away from any traditional data center.
Now, for years, the game plan was simple, right? Send all that data up to the cloud to get processed. But that fire hose of data is pushing the old model to its breaking point. Relying on the cloud creates delays. That's latency. It costs an absolute fortune in bandwidth, and it opens up all sorts of privacy risks. The pipes are getting clogged.
So that begs a really simple but kind of profound question. If all the data is being created right here, at the edge of the network, why on earth are we sending it so far away? Why not just bring the intelligence to the data?
And that right there is the big idea behind edge computing. It's a total paradigm shift. Instead of shipping your data across the country for processing, you do the work right where the data is born. It's all about local processing, not long-distance data hauling.
And this is where it gets really interesting, when you put them side by side. The cloud, it's the heavyweight champion. It's incredible for chewing through massive amounts of data when you're not in a huge hurry. But the edge is a sprinter. It's built for speed, for those real-time, right here, right now decisions where every millisecond counts.
And then you take this super fast local processing and you give it a brain. You fuse it with artificial intelligence, and that is Edge AI. And this is the real game changer. Suddenly, devices can do more than just see or hear data. They can understand it, analyze it, and act on it instantly, all on their own.
Okay, so that's the what. But how does this whole thing actually work in practice? How does the system know what job to do where?
Well, you can kind of picture it as a 3-layer system. At the very top, you've got the big kahuna, the cloud, for all the heavy-duty stuff. Way down at the bottom, you have the edge, the actual devices. And in the middle, you have this interesting layer called the fog, made up of things like local routers and gateways that can handle jobs that are a bit too big for one device but don't need the full power of the cloud.
You know, an even better way to think about it is like our own bodies. The cloud is the brain. It's fantastic for deep thought, for learning, for mulling over complex problems. But Edge AI, that's our reflexes. That's what makes you snatch your hand back from a hot stove before your brain even has time to process, hey, that's hot. It's that automatic, instantaneous, local decision. And this division of labor is absolutely crucial. The super heavy lifting, the training of an AI model where it's learning from millions of examples, that usually happens in the cloud. But the inference, that's the AI actually using its training to make a quick decision, that happens right there on the edge device. So, learn in the cloud, act on the edge.
And listen, this isn't some niche experimental idea. We're talking about the biggest players in the game. Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, you name it. They are all in on this, big time. They're literally building custom platforms and specialized hardware, these tiny but incredibly powerful AI chips designed specifically to make this whole thing fly.
So the key takeaway here is this isn't some far-off sci-fi tech. Edge AI is already here, out in the wild, and it's starting to reshape our world in some really tangible ways.
Take a self-driving car. It can't afford to send a video of a pedestrian stepping into the road up to the cloud and wait for a reply that says, hey, you should probably brake now. No way. That decision has to happen in a fraction of a second. That's Edge AI, right there in the car's computer, making the call.
Or think about a factory floor. With Edge AI, a sensor can listen to the vibrations of a machine and hear that something's just a little bit off, long before a human ever could. It can predict a breakdown before it happens, preventing massive shutdowns and saving a ton of money, all without needing a perfect internet connection.
And what about healthcare? A wearable monitor using Edge AI can analyze your vital signs right there on your body. Not only does this mean you get immediate alerts in an emergency, but just as important, your incredibly sensitive health data stays with you, on your device. It isn't constantly being beamed up to a server somewhere.
Edge AI is also the engine that's making our cities smarter, more responsive. We're talking traffic lights that see the actual flow of cars and adapt on the fly. Security cameras that can spot an anomaly and send an alert instead of just recording hours of useless video. It's all happening locally, instantly.
So when you put all these pieces together, you start to see the bigger picture emerge. We are heading toward a future where intelligence isn't something we log into. It's just everywhere, woven into the fabric of the world around us. It's ubiquitous AI.
And this gets to the heart of a really big idea, sometimes called AI democratization. The goal is to make artificial intelligence accessible, responsive, and genuinely useful at every single point of interaction in our lives, from our homes to our cars to our cities.
And believe me, this train is not slowing down. Researchers are already pushing the boundaries, looking at what's next. We're talking about integrating with next-gen 6G networks for near-zero latency, developing even more powerful and efficient AI hardware, and even exploring wild ideas like quantum computing on the edge.
Which, leaves us with a pretty huge question to think about. As the devices all around us become more and more intelligent, more instantaneous, the line between our decisions and their decisions is going to get awfully blurry. So, what decisions are we really ready to let them make for us?